Hi Alex, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm just tired.
Are you experiencing any pain, sensitivity?
A lot of burning pain, just where my loss of my other fingers.
That's a typical response. So when you do have an amputation, that's your brain trying to respond to the fingers that aren't there, and it's like this natural response for the nerves, and there's a lot of damage to that area. But eventually, that pain will subside, and we can work on that. How does that sound?
Good.
Are you experiencing any difficulty with like daily routines? Like, talk to me about your day.
I really need help with my wife for a lot of things, like holding my toothbrush, stabilizing things, even just like putting deodorant on. A lot of things is part of my routine.
Okay. Are you having trouble like sleeping at night?
Yes, I'm just having a lot of pain at night and sleeping problems.
Okay,
and relaxing.
Okay, so the first thing today that we're going to do is we're going to introduce maybe a technique that you can use when you are getting ready for bed or you are experiencing that phantom limb pain, as it's called, or digit pain in this case, before you go to bed. So behind you on the whiteboard, I have what's called a breathing square, and a lot of people use it when, their emotions are heightened or they're experiencing something that is unpleasant. So at the top it says breathe in, and you're gonna breathe in for 4 seconds, go down the square, hold for 4 seconds, breathe out for 4 seconds, and then hold again for 4 seconds. So this will regulate your breathing and your body's natural response to potentially pain, stress, or something that's keeping you up at night. So we can do that for maybe 3 or 5 times and see how that feels. So go ahead and breathe in for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. And now I want you to count inside your head so that you don't have to necessarily look at it, but if you don't have that as a visual, you can count in your head.
Okay.
I'll do it too. Hey, how did that feel?
Very relaxing.
So that was a good thing that you can try at night and see if that works.
Yes.
And if it doesn't, there are so many different techniques that you can use. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do, I'm going to take a look at your hand. Based off of first impressions, it looks like all of your sutures are completely healed. Do you feel like there's an increased amount of inflammation? You're just talking about the pain?
Not inflammation, just burning pain.
Just the pain? Okay, so here I have just some soft objects. It's called desensitization, which is exposing it to the stimuli of like friction or like soft objects, and it will slowly start to feel better. So when you do touch it or bump it up against something, that your body doesn't have that natural response of that burning pain and sensation in your hand. So I'm going to put it over here, and you can tell me how this feels. Does it hurt? Is it worse? If I press a little harder?
Just a little sensitive
A
still.
little sensitive, but nothing too extreme.
Nothing too extreme.
Does it feel like there are does it feel like there are spots that are more sensitive than others?
Yes, those spots. Like
Here or up here?
up there.
Does it
Up down here.
down here? If I press it, does it?
No.
Is it better? Worse?
It's a little better.
A little better? Alright, I'm gonna try it. I'm only gonna do it super lightly, so if I start down here, does that
That feels
better? What if I keep going closer?
Better.
So as we continue to do this, the stimuli will slowly get more coarse. So I have towels, but we're not going to do towels today.
Okay.
We'll probably do towels later on within the recovery. So we also talked about using your left hand for activities and making it your more dominant side. So today we're just I have some putty that you can use, or we can just focus on folding towels. So I know that because you were right hand dominant and you used it primarily for all your activities, that now we're gonna try to use your left hand mostly. So I have them just out in front of you, and you can go ahead and try to fold them and focus on like the simple tasks so that the more complex tasks get easier.
Just with my left hand?
Just with your left hand. If you want to try to incorporate using your right hand, you may. But I just know that as we talked about, getting back to a routine that doesn't take super long, that's going to incorporate using your left hand as your dominant arm.
Like that?
Yeah, very good job. And it's never easy switching your dominant hand, dominant arm. I know that you are doing a Handwriting for Heroes program.
Yes.
And that'll also help. You might not be able to get super legible handwriting in the beginning, but it takes time and practice. But eventually you will get there. You're doing a great job. And you can use this also with doing your laundry. You can use one hand instead of having someone else. It might take a little more time, but definitely over time practice will increase your dexterity in your left hand. So putty, we can either try this today or we can take a break and move on to the putty for next week. Up to you and how you're feeling.
I'll try it.
Okay. So it's kind of like silly putty. It's a little harder, but as you work with it, you can stretch it out, you can fold it, bend it. Sometimes there's bubbles in it that are fun to crack too.
So will this help strengthen my left hand?
Yes, so as you increase, as you grip and bend and fold the putty and interact with your putty, you are strengthening your intrinsic and extrinsic muscles. So what that means is you have two different levels of muscles in your hand almost, and they are used for different tasks. They're engaged during different activities, and so by using this putty, you can kind of just challenge your hands by kind of just playing with Play-Doh almost. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I know that for our goals, we talked about being able to move and interact and perform activities swiftly almost, and so this will also this is extreme, but when you do use your hands and fingers for activities, it's on a lesser scale almost. So like if you were to hold a utensil, you're not going to use as much strength compared to when you have to pull the putty. So this is like an ultimate challenge compared to certain activities that you would do on a daily basis. Even just like today when we folded the towels, you didn't use as much grip compared to when you're pulling the putty. So next week or later this week, we'll work on more ADLs. Maybe we'll do a meal prep activity and we'll go from there.
Okay.
We'll see you next week.
See you next week.